You think your apartment is too small for a cat?
Honestly, yes, it feels unfair. My cat is locked up in this tiny apartment and I feel guilty every time I close the door. What am I supposed to do, move?
Then answer this. Why are some cats in tiny 30 square meter studios more stimulated, more active, and less stressed than some cats living in 5-bedroom mansions?
That doesn't make any sense. More space should mean more happiness, right?
It doesn't, because space is a human metric. We measure life in square meters. Cats measure life in volumes, complexity, and sovereignty. If you miss the invisible system we are uncovering today, you could buy a palace and your cat would still be bored, depressed, and potentially destructive.
Wait, a palace wouldn't fix it?
No, because a large empty room is just a larger desert. We're about to change how you see your walls forever.
So if space isn't the problem, what actually matters?
It's the structure inside the space. But before we dive into the blueprint, I need your full concentration. Why? Because if this challenges how you think, the next few minutes will completely change how your cat lives. Most owners spend years solving the wrong problem.
I'm ready. What's the first step?
First, hit like and subscribe so you don't lose this guide. Done? Good. Now look at your cat right now. If they wake up from a nap, what can they actually do in your living room?
They can walk to the kitchen, maybe look out the window for a second.
And after that?
Nothing really. They usually just go back to sleep or start staring at me.
Exactly. So let me ask you this. Is the apartment small or is the experience empty?
That's a heavy question.
It's the only one that matters. Cats don't measure floor space. They measure layers, height, access, and control. When those are missing, you get silent tension. You get the zoomies, the cable biting, and the random scratching. That's not a bad cat. That's a cat living in a sensory vacuum.
You mentioned 5 zones. Where do we start?
Zone 1 is the control center. Most people call it a window. But for a cat, a window without a proper perch is a tease. Imagine being in a room with a TV you can see but never hear.
That sounds frustrating.
It is. A cat needs a control center, a high, comfortable spot where they can process the outside world without being disturbed. If your cat is staring at a blank wall, they have nothing to process. No stimulation, no control.
Okay, that makes sense. What about the rest of the room?
That brings us to Zone 2. The vertical freeway. Most people have one cat tree and think they're done.
Guilty. I have a nice one in the corner.
Would you live in a house where the only way to get to the second floor was one single ladder that led to a dead end?
No, I'd feel trapped.
That is exactly how your cat feels. They don't just need height. They need roots. They need to be able to go up, across the room via shelves, and down a different way. Like a highway system. In a small apartment, if your cat can cross the entire room without touching the floor, you haven't just added a shelf. You've effectively doubled the size of the apartment in their mind.
I'm starting to see the layers now. But what about hiding? I always feel bad when my cat hides under the bed. Is that a sign they're unhappy?
Only if it's their only option. In the wild, safety isn't just not being seen. Safety is choosing when to be seen.
Wait, what's the difference?
If your cat only has one dark corner under the sofa, they are a prisoner to fear. But if they have multiple cubby holes placed at different heights, they become an observer. High-altitude hiding spots create confidence. A cat under a bed is hiding from the world. A cat in a box on top of a bookshelf is surveying their kingdom.
So I should give them more places to disappear?
Yes. Anywhere they can fully disappear and return on their own terms. When a cat knows they can escape instantly, they actually spend more time being social because they feel safe.
That's a huge shift in perspective. What's the biggest mistake people make in small spaces?
Zone 4. The hunting zone.
I play with my cat every evening with a wand toy. Isn't that enough?
Do you complete the biological cycle? Stalk, chase, catch, kill, eat.
Usually we just play until she gets bored and walks away.
Then you are leaving her in a state of permanent arousal. Imagine you're at a restaurant. You smell the steak. You see the steak. You reach for it. And it vanishes.
I'd be furious.
That is your cat's life, especially with laser pointers. The hunt never ends, so the stress never resets. In a small apartment, you must use food puzzles. Make them hunt for their meals. Hide treats along that vertical freeway we built. If they don't use their brain to find food, they will use their brain to find trouble.
So, if I fix the hunting and the heights, is that the whole territory?
Almost. Zone 5 is scent sovereignty. Humans clean everything to smell like lemons or lavender. To a cat, that's like someone coming into your house and painting over all your family photos with white spray paint.
You're saying my house smells too clean for my cat?
For a cat, scent is identity. They need scratching posts and soft beds where their scent can linger. If you clean away their scent daily, they feel like a guest in a hotel, not an owner of a home.
I've been thinking about getting a second cat to help with the boredom. Would that solve it?
This is the most dangerous trap. A second cat doesn't fix a broken environment. It amplifies it. If you have no vertical roots and no hiding zones, a second cat is just a competitor for the only safe spot in the house. You'll end up with twice the stress, not twice the fun. Fix the territory first.
So I need to look at my apartment through their eyes.
Exactly. Look at your room right now. Is it a human space with a cat in it? Or is it a shared ecosystem? You aren't adding square meters. You are adding worlds. When you do this, your cat stops searching for stimulation. They start living.
The question wasn't, is my apartment too small? It was, is the territory complete?
Now you've got it. Don't ask how big the room is. Ask what your cat can actually do in it. If you found this helpful, share it with another cat owner who's feeling the apartment guilt. Let's change their world, one shelf at a time. See you in the next one.